The room is quiet tonight, too quiet. A voice has gone still, not from old age, not from surrender, but by force. Charlie Kirk is dead. He wasn't a general commanding armies. He wasn't a king wrapped in crowns. He was a man with a microphone, a restless fire, and the courage to stand in the open when others whispered in the dark. To some, he was a hero, to others a thorn. But to thousands of young people searching for direction, he was something rare in our age of noise, a compass. Charlie built his stage brick by brick, campus by campus, conversation by conversation. He spoke about faith when faith was unfashionable. He spoke about love of country when patriotism was sneered at. He spoke about free speech in places where speech itself was under siege. He did not always soothe. He provoked. He rattled. He stirred. But that was his point. To remind his audience that conviction was not a museum piece. It was something you lived out loud. And the young who lined up to hear him, they weren't looking for comfort. They were looking for courage. But here is the truth about America today. Words are dangerous again. Not in the way of dictatorships, with censors in dark uniforms, but in subtler ways. On campuses, in classrooms, on social media, people whisper instead of speak. Conversations are not conversations anymore. They are battlegrounds, not debates, but ultimatums. We do not disagree peacefully. We cancel. We do not argue. We impose. We do not listen. We label. Silence has crept in, disguised as safety. A silence not of peace but of fear. Fear of saying the wrong thing. Fear of being cast out. Fear of believing something that someone else has decided you must not believe. Charlie walked into that silence and chose to break it. That choice now stands like a monument and like a warning. This is not the first time voices have been cut short. In the fragile days of 1930s Germany, dissent faded one by one, not always by bullets, sometimes just by silence. Neighbors lowered their eyes, friends stayed quiet, fear muzzled more people than chains ever could. And into that silence marched boots that shook the world. Closer to home in America's McCarthy era, silence stalked Hollywood classrooms, whole neighborhoods. To speak the wrong words was to lose your career, your reputation, your place in society. Silence was demanded in the name of safety, and millions complied. History carved this warning in stone. Silence never arrives with a roar. It creeps in, one muted voice at a time. Charlie's microphone has gone cold. But the real question isn't what ended, it's what remains. Do the students he inspired retreat? Do they lower their voices to whispers? Do they slip into the shadows, afraid to carry the torch? Or do they step forward, louder than before, carrying his flame into places he will never walk again? The answer doesn't belong to him anymore. It belongs to the living. Because freedom of speech is not just a right written on paper. It is a practice, a discipline, a courage. It is the stubborn act of saying, I will not be silenced, and I will not silence you. Look at America tonight. People no longer sit at the table to argue. They storm the table, flip the table, burn it down. We no longer see disagreement as healthy. We see it as war. We no longer see opposing beliefs as challenges. We see them as threats. Charlie knew this. He stepped into that storm and refused to step back. He believed the remedy for division was not silence, but courage. Not force, but words. And now, with his voice gone, America faces a sharper question. Will we continue down the road where silence is demanded, where disagreement is crushed, where speech is a liability? Or will we take the harder path, the one where conversation is possible again, where people can disagree, even fiercely, and still walk away neighbors? Where freedom of speech is not a weapon to destroy but a bridge to debate, to learn, to coexist? Charlie Kirk's voice has been silenced, but silence is never empty. Sometimes it is survival, sometimes it is betrayal, and sometimes it is a dare. The dare is this. Will we accept a country where disagreement means destruction, where silence spreads like a plague because we are too afraid to risk the cost of speech? History has shown us what happens when silence wins. But it has also shown us what happens when one voice, even in the dark, refuses to be quiet. Charlie's voice is gone, but the echo remains. The question is not what was lost tonight. The question is, who among us will speak now? That's my lantern for tonight. I'm Quinn, and this is Think Again. Until next time, question on.